I'm Dave Harris. I'm a second-year playwright at UCSD, and I wrote the play Incendiary. So this was the first play that I wrote in grad school, the first full-length play, and it's been really cool to take it from that very first workshop where we have like a week to write a whole play, and then bring it from there into where we are now with this reading. I think what's most exciting for me is that the play kind of takes like a kind of straightforward journey, almost like epic quest of like a mother going to rescue her son. I think there's a lot of tropes of that within storytelling of like the selfless mother doing something for the child. I think I'm interested in exploring like what lies, but the darkness that lies in that narrative arc. So the play deals a lot with generational violence in families, and it kind of takes a topic that I think is heavy and deals with that in kind of this epic quest-like setting. So we're watching a story that at its core is dealing with like very violent, traumatic forces. We're watching it play out in kind of absurd ways. The first scene is a Black mother going to buy guns to break her son out of prison, and she buys like a rocket launcher and hand grenades and like shotguns, and we're watching her like arm herself for this almost video game like quest of, I have a mission, I'm gonna do it, I need to go train with my trainer, I need to get my hair done so I can go to jail and break my child out of prison. So I think for me it's just like a really fun way to tackle something that's deeply troubling at its core, which like I feel deeply troubled about too, but in a way that I think like I'm interested in exploring that for all of us, and for me, for the audience, for the characters. Actually, so I think of my audience like entirely, like theater is so communal, but I think of every response is so individual that like I don't like to prescribe like I want you to take this away. What I think will happen is that we'll have kind of like a fun emotional journey, and then whatever your response to it is like so wholly your own. And like I just love that about theater. I love that everyone will have their own response to it, and I love that like I can't actually control that in a way that excites me. The craziest response I ever got was someone stood up and was like, "I've never been more offended in my life. I spit on this play," which I was like, yes, cool. Can see that coming. This is fun. But also like I love that too. I was like, okay, cool. We're talking about something that clearly has some sort of emotional response in you. For this play in particular, I think in a lot of it's the play that's not explicitly about race in the way that a lot of my other plays are, but it deals with an all-Black cast, and I think that in the history of Black narratives on stage, Black folk haven't often been put in the place of being able to be kind of wicked and kind of messy on stage, and like I'm interested in like what shift happens when Black people are allowed to take full agency of their actions on stage. I think it says a lot about what we expect from a story, and what we expect from a play, and what we expect from certain bodies on stage. And I love those expectations, and I also love messing with those expectations too. So is it ever worrisome? No, but I think I wouldn't be writing if I wasn't planning on people bringing their expectations to the table. Because like I want to create new cliches. You know, like people are going to have their ideas of what these people are doing on stage and what this play is about. And I'm like, cool, yes, you're bringing a narrative history that's making you think that. I want to create something new beyond that. I've been writing in some form my whole life. I wrote my first like short story when I was like really young. My mom let me read Stephen King from like an age when I should not have been reading Stephen King. I think that kind of influenced a lot of how I approach storytelling. Maybe I'm still unpacking that, but so I've written my whole life, but never thought I was gonna be a writer. Didn't think I was gonna be a writer for most of it. It wasn't until like two-thirds of the way through college when like I had a teacher, Deb Markle, and like slapped me upside the head and be like, stop doing research science, you're lying to yourself, you want to write. And I was like, you're right. I think it was probably around my junior year of college when I realized that like there wasn't anything else that could give me the feeling of what it felt like to be writing and to be questioning and to be like finding new language for things that I've experienced and new like stage and new stakes for the stories that I want to tell. And that hasn't become boring yet, so I'm not going to stop anytime soon. If writing at some point becomes boring, then I'll like go do something. I'll go like open a tea restaurant and just make tea for people. But it's not boring yet, so I'm gonna keep doing it. I really love blues dancing, which blues dancing is like kind of offset of swing. So I spend like a lot of time going to different like blues social dances throughout San Diego, and like have dragged people to go with me to them. That's like my main physical activity is different dance classes and blues dancing. A lot of my plays are about theater or about the notion of storytelling and history, whether it's personal history, whether it's the history of this country, whether it's familial history. And once a story is told enough, it can become cliche. And I think for me, I want to invent new cliches. I think I want to take the language I've been given, the language I've inherited, push it into something new. And I don't always know what form that will take, but I know that for me, if I'm discovering something new in myself or something new in the language that I'm using, then hopefully I can then offer that to an audience in a different way. So in terms of like how that impacts the world, I don't know. And actually, I don't even care about change. There was a point in my life where I think I was like, I'm gonna write and have like social impact and change the world. And I think that stopped being interesting because ultimately I was like, we're all writing and we're not gonna change. Like, I don't even mean that in like a, it sounds cynical, but I mean that truly in like the best thing I can do is offer my imagination and my way of telling a story and like hope that brings something new to whoever is here to watch it. But if it doesn't, that's fine too. Like, I'm just gonna keep finding new shit for myself. Cool. Yeah, thanks for coming, y'all. Is that it?
Got it.
Yeah.